Hello there everybody, and welcome back to another installment of SCP Readings with your reader here, Gmodon. As you can probably already tell, you're looking at my desktop right now. Today we're looking at probably one of the most unique SCP files that you could ever find, simply because it contains no words, not a single word, only images. For a while now, I've debated whether I would actually do this SCP or not because of that fact. There's no words. This is SCP Readings. There's nothing for me to read. But the goal of this channel is to try to explore every facet of the SCP Foundation, and this is a part of it, and I feel it'll be interesting to try and tackle this SCP. Now, I will say that my interpretation of these images may not be correct, but I feel like that's the point of this SCP. It's up to interpretation. And while this is my interpretation and understanding, you may have some completely different ideas, which is awesome. That's fine. I welcome you to discuss this SCP within the comments. Tell me what you think, if I might have missed something, and it'll be interesting to see the different viewpoints we all have on this single SCP. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Judging by the first image, this SCP is very obviously Keter. We don't really know the number either because it's just a bunch of dots, but it is very obviously Keter. And over here, there's an image of it as well, and from an aesthetic point, I really enjoy the design of it. There's something both mysterious and creepy about it that just really draws me in. Alright, moving forward, these are probably the containment procedures, judging by this icon right here. It seems that the symbols are something that is good to have in the containment, as if these symbols are what keeps it contained. And written data or even verbal information just isn't allowed within the containment. It's just probably bad for some reason, and we'll probably find out later on. Now, I'm not entirely sure what these bottom two are to represent, but maybe they have to change out the symbols every so often, and it requires only 2 people, 1 D-class, and O5 approval. Now we're at what is usually the description portion. It seems to be that it describes it as being, let's see, that's probably about an average height human, about 5.5 feet, and I'd say it's maybe around a little over 6 foot, roughly, maybe 6'4", so it's pretty tall. Its fingers are sticky and they're long and tender-like. Maybe that means they can stretch, and judging by this picture here, that seems to be right. They can stretch out and form different things. Apparently it can phase through walls, so probably this maybe is like a normal steel container. It can phase through things, and probably they have to have some sort of special containment, which we don't really know. I suppose maybe the symbols keep it from leaving somehow. And it does seem to be sentient by the little brain, and it seems to like information that is talked about and spread. It seems to like that, but it seems to be confused by symbols, so maybe that's what that has to do, that symbols keep it within its containment. That symbols seem to confuse it, symbols and signs and everything like that. This seems to be an experiment, the first experiment. Alright, so we have a D-class here. He looks over to these symbols, and it looks like they're telling him to write something down. He starts writing something down. The SCP comes in. It's kind of cute. He gets a little heart. He takes the stuff that the D-class wrote down, takes it, and then he's gone. Well, that's interesting. Alright. So in a second experiment, he sees the symbols, and they're like, okay, speak out these symbols. Say what these symbols are. And, so he speaks it out, and then he comes, and then he takes the guy, and he's gone. Huh. So what I'm getting here, what I'm gathering, is that this SCP loves information. And I'm guessing that maybe it is information about itself. And maybe this is such that they have to speak in symbols in order to keep the SCP contained, because if they speak in written form or data, or they just speak it out loud, speak in written. If they write things down about him, or they speak about him, then he'll come and take them. I think what it is, it just likes information about itself that it can understand. It can't understand symbols, but it can understand written data, anything other than symbols. It can understand, and it wants to take it for itself. But you have to wonder what happens to these D-class. Like, where do they go? He's just gone. Maybe he takes them to Cherish because he's got a heart. He doesn't seem to want to hurt them. But it really makes you wonder what happens. I'm not sure how else to describe this SCP other than it loves information, probably about itself, as it seems here it's talking about himself. And it just seems to love information about itself so much that it wants to keep it and hold on to it. And that's kind of really adorable, that it just wants to be recognized that it exists. It just wants everybody to know that it's a thing that exists, and it wants to love people for knowing it exists. And it can't understand symbols. So that's really interesting. I think that's the basis of it. Like I said, I probably might have missed some things in the interpretation. This is a very unique and interesting SCP. I really, really enjoy this because of that. It's so unique. It's thought-provoking in that there's different ways of interpreting it. And I know there's some of you out there that might interpret it differently than me, and I welcome you to put it in the comments what you think. But it looks as though that is about it. Here on the tags we have info hazard and teleportation. Oh, it's uncontained. Okay. So maybe that has to do with that. That it's an uncontained SCP, that it's Keter, and it can teleport, phase through walls and everything. That is interesting. So it's not contained. Well, that is definitely interesting. Well, if you guys enjoyed this, I know this was a little bit different from the usual, but like I said, it's this goal of this channel to explore everything within the SCP Foundation, and this is just a part of it. So for the longest time I'd been worried about doing it because I wasn't sure how to do it, but decided to tackle it head on and just go for it and try to interpret it. But let me know what you guys think of this. If you have anything that I missed, go ahead and put it in the comments. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this interpretation. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.